Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Pillow Talk. My name is Jay Harris. I am your host, and today I have with us my friend Lindsay, and then I have my friend Brooke. So thank you. Okay, ladies, y'all ready to talk?
Thanks.
I'm ready.
Okay. So the first, what we're gonna talk about is it's dealing with religion and how it plays a part in the education setting. So one quote from an article that I read that really struck me, it said that there was a time when law was viewed as a body of rules to be taught, learned by rotes, and administrated in a semi-religion way. So how I look at this is saying that how the school setting is that religion play a big part on how you should conduct a class setting, and but nowadays you just gotta kind of be careful with religion when it comes to school because you kind of don't want to offend anybody or if just anybody who is not religion. But do any of y'all have anything to add on that topic?
I agree. I think much of the United States was founded upon, or people think it was founded upon, Judeo-Christian beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, verbally, it wasn't supposed to be that way, but in reality, there was some influence there, and we see some traces of religion, especially in the South, and particularly Christianity, in
Mm-hmm.
schools, such as with the pledge, where it says "under God." And a lot of people in this America that is becoming more diverse are questioning whether it still has a place in the school system here.
Yeah, to go off of what Brooke said, like with America becoming more diverse, like especially with it being a melting pot in some sort. So especially with New York after immigration and everything that happened in the earlier years, you have so many different cultures and so many people coming in
Mm-hmm.
to where that is affiliated with religion. So it's kind of questioning what basis should a classroom, if it's going to have a religious base, what religion should it be?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think for me personally, even now when I do like an exam or a test, I always say a prayer before I do it. I'm like, dear Lord, please pray that I do good on this. So it's different for everybody, but that's something that I do personally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my next subject, this article, it talks about how religion can play a role dealing with our mental health, so this says that there are several possible explanations for these findings. People who have religious belief are more concerned with their body and mental health. Now, what do y'all think about that? Because personally speaking, I think that you can be religious, but people do what they want to do on their free time. Nowadays some stores are open where you can buy beer on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So you might not try to drink on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday, you drinking that beer.
Mm-hmm.
So what do y'all think in regards to that? Do you kind of agree or do you disagree?
So I think I would agree because definitely in some denominations of Christianity, some people, if you go to church on Sunday
Mm-hmm.
and you look around, sometimes people are best dressed and their suits and everything, and obviously they care about their appearance and they want to look their best. But the thing with buying beer on Sunday, it's the holy day, but some people will choose whether they want to consume alcohol or not based on maybe it is their mental health. If they want to do that, that's just their opinion and their choice. But I would say that I agree with it because people use say scripture and Bible verses to help them feel either less anxious or less worried or to help impact someone else.
Okay.
So
And I also think in churches in America, unfortunately, there are a lot of stigmas. And I know with mental disorders such as major depressive disorder, depression, schizophrenia, historically it was taught that those people often, were demon possessed, and now that way of thinking has shifted. However, we still see some traces of that in the fact that some people are concerned, they don't want to talk about it so much. And I think, thankfully, within Christianity, and I can't speak for other religions, but I know they have verses too that they can look at that can help them to be happier. And hopefully, within each household, whichever religion they are, people are able to share, talk about it with their family members, and it's not quieted.
Yeah, I think just having that support system is very important, whether you're religion or not religion. But I feel like people who are kind of like, do go to church, and people are wearing them like, oh, Jay, she goes to church on Sundays, or she's really in church. But I think a lot of people think that you kind of, people do go to church and really act that they kind of like have their things more in order. But I think that a lot of times those could be the people that's really struggling or hurting, and people just don't know, because they might just assume. So I think also that can deal with like how society can like label people and stuff like that.
People can all look polished and the same on the outside, but they can have some serious struggles on the inside. I know.
Oh, yes.
Last semester, I actually did nothing wrong, but I was dealing with a serious case of road rage from two women who looked like they would be sitting in the front row on Sunday mornings. So I really wish I knew which church they would go to. But yeah, you can never tell what somebody's going through or who they are based on their appearances.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of road rage, that is actually something I found in the article. So, let's see. That is so funny. I had found that it was, okay, what was it on? I think it is in the, well, we're going to move on, but I'm going to find it though for you. Okay. So, the next one is, it talks about, it says, in this article, it mentioned that 75 and 45% of the responsive consider that they result to models from the Bible in the behavior of coercion, less than 25% of the cases. This was about religion education as well. And so what this saying is that 45% they try to study religion in the, I guess like in the classroom setting, and they have found this in like several cases, but it wasn't like a really I guess big outcome. So again, how I think religion really does play a big part in education, and we just really don't know it. Because while I was like doing my research, I found a lot dealing with education and how like religion can play into it. But that's just something that I had found. But when y'all was growing up in school, for us like religion wise, did y'all like ever talk about like God in classes, or anything like Bible stories that have been brought up in class?
In elementary school, almost none. Of course, in elementary school you have class parties, so we celebrated Christmas. So there was some Santa, but there was no Jesus, God. I know in 8th grade I can think of one example when a kid was pressing Miss Smith about how not everything involves science, and at one point he threw God at her and she said, God, the master scientist. And so that was one confession there of faith. And in high school, more so, I think, teachers, they're in an environment with people who are becoming adults, with people who are forming their own ideas and opinions. And so I imagine it's harder for teachers to keep their own beliefs out of conversation. So it slipped out sometimes, but it wasn't the norm to talk about, religion or beliefs throughout, my public schooling.
I guess with, because in elementary school we actually had a substitute teacher. She was like everyone's favorite, and she would pray every single time that she like watched our class, which I knew at the time, even as a young kid, like technically weren't supposed to do that within the school system, but she still did, and it was super nice. And like whenever we would all line up to go to lunch, my teachers would pray. So it